Good morning. It is time for the 600-mile oil change for my Kawasaki Ninja 400 and also for the Kawasaki Z900. We rode them both together, so we both racked up 600 miles at the same time. I'm a little over, he's a little under, but hey, it's all good. Mine's like 614 now. And so we ordered the oil filters. It takes the same one on both bikes, and that's just in the book and everything. It just said a Kawasaki oil filter. So the number on the filter is 16097 0008. In case you need to know. And picked up one of these little wrenches. I wrote Kawasaki on it, so I'll know what it's for and if it's exactly perfect. I tore off the label, so sorry I can't tell you what size that is. And mine takes 2.1 quarts with the with the filter change for the 10W40. So this is the Mobile One Racing 4T is what I'll be using on my bike. And I also got the new washers for the drain bolt. So it says in the owner's manual to change the oil bolt gasket, and that's one of those metal washers when you change the oil. So first I need to crank up the bike, get the oil good temperature. It's only going to take a couple minutes. Turn it off and crack that bolt, drain the oil, and get it going. So I'll be doing both of these bikes at the same time to save time. They're pretty much the same thing, so I'm not going to make two different videos changing the oil on the Z900, changing the oil on the Ninja. It's just all going to be one video. They both take the same filter and they both take the same oil. Mine just takes 2.1 with the filter change, and his I'm not sure, but I'll find out for you. I've got enough oil down here. Anyways, let's start with the Ninja. Drain plug is right there, and it is a 17mm socket. On the Z900, same right there, and it is also a 17mm socket. This one is a little bit farther back, so it's going to be able to catch it in the pan. And the Ninja oil pan, the kickstand, is right in the way of that bolt under there. And so when I go to drain it, I'll have to be very careful not to spill it. Let me just go ahead and crack the bolt on the Z900 here and get it draining. And also always remember, this bike is on a stand, so you don't want to pull it off the kickstand when you're doing this. Now this is the break-in period. They don't use break-in oil anymore. It's just the regular oil, but you can see it needed. It was time to change it, even after just 600 miles. So while that's draining, let's go over to the Ninja. There's that bolt. Yeah, this is gonna spill all over. If I can even get the wrench up in there. I don't want to remove the fairings because they're all the way around. This bottom piece, it goes all the way here, around there, and then to the other side. And so it's not that, it's got some connections in there and stuff, so it's not the easiest piece to remove. So if I don't have to remove it, I would like to not have to. So we will grab that bolt right there and do what we can to hold the bowl up like that so we don't spill the oil. Oh, that one's on tight. I got it. Yeah, there's no metal shavings or anything like that, so that's good. Tried to give it a proper break-in and not drive it over. You're not supposed to bring it over 4,000 RPMs during the break-in period, but that's pretty much impossible to do. But I did it as little as possible. Alright, so now I need to hold this bike up, not on the stand, but straight up and down. Make sure we get all the oil out of it. And just hold it there for a little while. Well, that's draining. We'll remove the filter because we still got more oil that's going to be dripping out of that too. So we'll get it, everything, all the oil out of the engine before we add new oil. So there's the oil filter right there. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get a good camera view of it, but I removed that, and that's on the Ninja. Let's show you the one on the Z900. See, this one here is a lot easier to get to. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one off, and we'll work on the one for the Ninja in a minute. So this wrench, oil filter wrench, just takes the square of a ratchet like that. Well, that is wanting to slip. Yeah. Let me see if I can put something in there to give it a little more tight. Yep, it's a shame. Went to the store, everything, brought the filter with us, and it's not gonna work. Nope. See what else I can find that we got. Dang. Really put this on tight. I got the torque for it in the book, so I'm gonna tighten it back to the torque that it's supposed to be, but I really think that was a little tight. Yeah, there we go. Whew. Let's go over to the Ninja and see if it's any easier. Judging by that, I may have to end up removing the fairings. We'll let this drain for a little while and go check out the Ninja. Yeah. It's probably the same exact filter and tightness, so it's probably gonna be just as difficult. But we'll try this first because I really hope it'll work. Nope. Since that's barely dripping, I'm just gonna see if I can move the pan way over here so I can get more room for this filter. It looks like for the Ninja, I'm gonna end up having to put it up on the motorcycle lift jack things, get it a little bit higher. That wrench won't turn. I just don't have any room, so we'll do that real quick. I didn't trust that front one. It looked like it was pressing too much on that brake caliper, so hopefully the bike will stay like this just long enough for me to loosen that oil filter. So the Z900 takes 3.8 quarts of 10W40. So we will, let me hold this up straight up and down so we can make sure it gets all the old oil drained out of it. And we will put the new filter in and put the oil in and we'll be good to go. The new washer that I got has a little bit larger inner diameter than the old one, but it's the outer diameter is the same, it fits on there the same, and I did have to pry off the old washer. So I guess when we tighten it to the right torque, then we will, it should crush on there pretty good and tight. Let's go ahead and look up what the torque is right now. Drain bolt should be 22 foot-pounds. And the oil filter should be 12.9 foot-pounds. So go ahead and put the bolt on and then put the filter on, and then I'll grab my torque wrench so we could check the torque on them. Just move this pan out of the way. I don't need it anymore. Wipe all this off. Good. Since the inner diameter was a little different, I made sure that the washer was exactly lined up even. And now for the filter, because it goes in sideways, we'll fill up this filter halfway and see how much that is, because I don't want it to spill, but I want it to be a little bit primed. So that really didn't take much oil at all. And I'm going to take the oil and I'm going to rub it around this gasket to get that, to make a good seal on it. So it's good to do that. Yeah, I think I can. Well, I thought I could fill it a little bit more, but when I turn it sideways, it starts coming out. So that's about all I could get. So let's put this in. There, wipe around that edge, make sure it's good and clean, there's no debris on there. All right, let's go get my torque wrench and we'll make sure it's tightened up good, then we'll add that oil. And so I just took off this, this is the fill plug, and be careful, there's a little O-ring on there, you don't want to lose that. And so I'm just gonna put in 3.8 quarts of oil. And here's the little viewing glass, so you can see when it gets, you still got to tip the bike up. I mean, it's at an angle, so it's not going to be correct right now. But that's how you can tell how much oil is in there. It should be about halfway, maybe a little more than halfway. And now for the 0.8. All right, that looks about right. I might have to add a little more, but I'm gonna tilt the bike up. We're gonna look at the little glass here and see what it says. All right, now we got everything, the cover back on and everything, and we are done and ready to go. Let me just crank the bikes and make sure that the pressure's right, and make sure that the little sight glass, so I'll put the camera here, I'll leave the camera here where you can see the little sight glass while I crank it, so we can tell how much oil is in there, if it's the right amount. So with that, as you saw when I cranked it, it like pulled the oil out of that little glass. But then when I turned off the engine, it went back in the glass. And you could see that it was just a little below halfway full, and it should be a little above halfway full. So I think I'm gonna add a couple more ounces of oil to that to make it all the way full. And now let's go check the Ninja. I got my new filter and 2.1 quarts of oil. I'll add a little to there so it can get a little prime, and add around the seal. And now let's find that bolt. Okay, so hopefully this thing won't fall on me. Yeah, that looks, I mean, it's a pretty new bike. It looks brand new under there. Tightening it with the wrench works pretty good. It was just loosening it that's the problem. As Derek from Vice Grip Garage says, I gave it all the torque. Now let's add the 2.1 quarts of oil and we'll be good to go. The Ninja looked right about right. It wasn't over full or anything like I thought it was after I checked it the first time. After I cranked it and it went through, it was a good amount of oil in there. So yeah, that wasn't too hard, not a big deal. And so even on new bikes, oil changes, really nothing. But I hope you learned something or enjoyed watching it. I really appreciate all of you watching. You really do mean a lot to me. And thank you. You all have a wonderful night. Take care. Bye-bye.